Good evening. I'm still reporting on the coup. If the FBI was ever after the Russians, why didn't they go after the folks behind the Uranium One deal? Oh, because it involved not only the Clintons, but then current FBI Director Robert Mueller would come under the microscope for his part in that illegal caper, as would James Comey. Two FBI agents went on Fox Tonight to explain how a real investigation against the Russians should have gone.
If Spygate is real, if the Obama administration actually spied on a political opponent without justification, it could be the biggest scandal in U.S. history. So it's little wonder that former FBI Chief James Comey, appointed by Obama and fired by Trump, was in full denial mode last night.
Do you find that to be at all possible or probable? I'm going to just play devil's advocate, that there was a spy inserted into his campaign by an intelligence agency?
I don't find it possible, and I know it not to be true, which is why I'm confident that something else will be bigger than Watergate next week.
Well then, why are current FBI agents reportedly so disgusted with Comey that they're practically begging Congress to make them testify? Rank-and-file FBI agents told the Daily Caller they want to testify to Congress that politics and incompetence at the top are destroying the Bureau. Here's how Senator Ron Johnson, chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, responded to that report Wednesday on The Angle.
What has surprised me is we haven't had FBI agents come forward to our committee. They'll go to the press.
Well, they're going to go, and they want to testify on what, Senator?
We heard that when Comey exonerated Clinton, that they actually wanted to, they were going to blow a gasket, basically. Why haven't they come forward? Come forward to my committee. We'll protect you.
Sounds like Comey's problems may just be beginning. Let's discuss Spygate with two distinguished retired members of the Bureau. In Phoenix, former FBI National Spokesperson John Iannarelli, and in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, former FBI agent and counterterrorism expert Chad Jenkins, who was awarded 3 Bronze Star medals during his service as an Army Ranger. So I don't think these guys are getting their stories straight, John. You heard at the top of the show, Clapper says there was a spy in there, and then Comey on the late night shows says there wasn't a spy. I mean, kind of important to make sure everybody's on the same page, don't you think?
I think so. I find it odd that Director Comey is going on Conan O'Brien to talk about these important issues. I guess the Food Network wasn't available last night.
And Clapper's going on The View, so.
Exactly. 2 hard-hitting programs that are going to get to the bottom of this. I will tell you that agents across the board are non-political. They remain unbiased in doing their work. But at the top, there clearly appears to have been a problem there, because if they were interested in Russians, the first thing you're going to talk to is the person that would be the victim of the Russians.
Right.
That didn't happen.
No. Instead, they spied on that person and surveilled them. Chad, it's not good for James Comey. He's basically contaminated this so-called crime scene. When you think about sending all these biased agents in there, when you bring in the fake dossier and the illegal spying, it doesn't look good. If this was a court of law, this thing would get tossed. Do you think that's the genesis of this anger by the boots at the FBI or not?
I think it is, Jesse. We're at the point where, the judge in this is the American people, and the American people are being lied to on all sides at this point. No one really knows where the truth lies. So at this point, what I recommend is this whole entire investigation, the special counsel, it needs to be declassified. We are at the point where a house divided will fall on itself, and the American society as a whole will fall on itself if we don't get to the bottom of what the truth is. Not the half truth, but the full truth. And the only way to do that is to have these agents come out, whether it's through subpoenas and testifying to these committees. Something has to happen in order to get everything out there so that we can all decide and see for ourselves what really is taking place in this mess.
Yeah, there's a real insurrection brewing with the rank and file there. James Comey, obviously not an admired leader. Remember, we heard things about his leadership during the campaign. There was a lot of people very upset with the way he treated the Hillary Clinton criminal probe. Just look at the difference, John. Hillary's people were given immunity, and Trump's people, they're going scorched earth. Hillary destroyed evidence under subpoena, and the Trump people have given over millions and millions of documents. It's just very unfair to the average person with the way this thing has been handled politically by the Bureau.
For more than 100 years, the FBI enjoyed this great reputation of there to defend the American people. And I'm afraid in the past couple of years, that reputation is diminishing. Not because of the rank and file, like you said, but because of the actions of people like this. In the past, the FBI has always been very clear. We treat both sides of the political aisle the same. But yes, there are certainly problems here that is not congruent with the way one side is being treated versus the other. I agree with my colleague. We need to come clear here and let the American people know what's going on so they can have confidence in the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, there's lying taking place all over. The Tucker last night had Joe DeGenova on, and he had this to say about just the atmosphere over there.
They are lying in a most unbelievably brazen and insidious way. If they were not spying on the Trump campaign, why didn't they just tell the Trump people, the Russians are coming after you, be careful? Because that's not what they were doing. They were spying on the Trump campaign, trying to frame people, set them up. Comey and Clapper and Brennan are a group of psychotics who they can't stop lying.
You know, he made a point about the setting up. Because if you look at the way Page and Papadopoulos became under surveillance, you know, they were getting invited over to England and wined and dined, and they had their hotels and airlines paid for. They were getting set up for drinks with Clinton donors. You know, the way the Flynn deal, he was ambushed without an attorney by Peter Strzok. Even the Trump Tower meeting looks suspicious in hindsight. You have the Russian lawyer granted an exceptional visa by Loretta Lynch to come into the country. She meets with the president of Fusion GPS before and after the Trump Tower meeting. Looking back, a lot of it looks set up. Do you believe it was set up?
As an attorney, I would take this case in a heartbeat and claim entrapment at the very least. It doesn't look good. The optics, even if they had the best of intentions, which I don't think existed, it looks bad. That's why these political cases, the FBI is so careful, because they want to be concerned with how the public will perceive their actions. That wasn't done in this case, and it's hurt everyone.
Well, this is why, Chad, because they won't give any information to the congressional oversight people who have a constitutional right to use their oversight powers to look into what the FBI is doing. Why are they stonewalling if everything was on the up and up?
Oh, you're right, Jesse. And we're to the point where we can no longer say, oh, well, the FBI and DOJ is apolitical and they wear the blindfold that Lady Liberty wears. That is gone. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
And that goes back to my point where we need to divulge everything. The truth needs to be told. Because you look at it, I mean, going back to James Comey, you know, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I actually read his book, and that's actually what changed my opinion of him. Too often, one, he's always on the right side of history throughout. The only really vulnerability he ever shares is that he maybe was a bully to a college kid one time. But outside of that, in his professional career, he makes every decision rightful every single time. And then when you look at what happened with Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton on the tarmac, right there it shows there's political involvement in that. And as the FBI director, he needed to address that. Step up to the plate, be the leader that you were made to be, and address that if you're really truly trying to be apolitical and not let
He's above it all, and he's so sanctimonious. Listen to what he said about the president to Stephanopoulos here.
Is Donald Trump unfit to be president?
I don't think he's medically unfit to be president. I think he's morally unfit to be president.
You know, for a leaker and for an operator, a political animal that really has a tough track record at the FBI with all these abuses piling up, I don't think he's fit to be casting moral judgment on the commander-in-chief. Guys, got to run. Great talking to you.
I'm still reporting from outside the one-time free speech capital of the world. Good day. Trade Genius Academy says there is always a bull market somewhere. Yes, it is possible to make money when the market is going up or going down. Learn all about it with Trade Genius Academy's new online video course, Crypto Bear Market Strategies Volume 1. This multi-lesson course teaches you the skills you need to make money steadily, whether the market is headed up or down. Also just out is their new Binary Options Money Machine. Under beta test last year, it blew away the competition with a 95-4 win-loss record. On top of that, Trade Genius Academy is offering 8 spring bundle packages at a reduced rate to help new customers just looking to get their feet wet. Check them all out at www.tradegeniusacademy.com.